With $10,000 on the line and 1,000 WCS points, we begin WCS Challenger playoffs for day number 1 here to find out which of our 4 players are going to be moving on to WCS Jönköping as we find out all of those results from today and tomorrow. We have 16 players that are going to be representing throughout the next 2 days. A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into things. My name is Kyle Loris. I am joined by Todd, and already we can take a look at the brackets to figure out how everything is going to break down in this double elimination. Yeah, a lot of good players here. A lot of these guys on fire, made it through the ladder, through some grueling action in games, I'm sure. And they've probably been playing quite a bit against one another, which is going to build up some nice anticipation here going into 2 days games. And man, I can't wait. Yeah, definitely. We were seeing the upper bracket here at the moment, the upper part of the upper bracket, as there are 16 players going to be competing today. Everything in the upper bracket will be best of 5s as we can move on a little bit further down on the line here, as we do have our first 8 players there. Here are our second 8 players going to be matching up with one another as well. And we will start things off with ShoWTimE going up against SortOf on the main stage, the main stream, whatever you like to call it. Obviously, it's not a stage.
We can call it whatever we want. This is our show.
Yeah? The monolith of excellence. There we go.
Elias's dungeon.
No, what? Oh God, I'm going to stick with the monolith of excellence. And then obviously we do have a lower bracket as well. The lower bracket, more importantly, will be best of 3s. As obviously it's double elimination, so if it was best of 5 like it was last time, we could be going on for at least 29 hours. So that's important to actually make sure that this does end eventually. So awesome stuff. Everybody has 2 chances. We will be starting things off with ShoWTimE versus SortOf. But before we get to that, Todd, we can check out how the standings are in WCS so far.
Yeah, we've got Neeb in first place after winning over in Austin, but I think we should pay close attention to the players competing here today, because there's quite a few of them here in this challenger. Nurchio, Cyril amongst the top 2, which obviously are going to be our top 2 seeds here going into this tournament, but ShoWTimE is in there as well. You've got Snoot. Utomo not quite able to make it in the previous qualifiers, not going to be here in 2 days, involved in 2 days games, but Namshar, very close here to breaking into that top 8. Very important for him to go as far as possible, qualify for Jönköping if he can. Yep. Lambo as well is in there. Mana is, and so is SortOf. So all of these guys, keep an eye on them, like even though SortOf right now currently 20th. If he somehow qualifies here for Jönköping, he's already scored even more points, and then on location there, maybe he can score some more even and some more money. Definitely. A lot of money and a lot of points on the line there as well. Here, to be honest, of course, there is the $10,000 up for grabs. And first place will back themselves 200 WCS points, which at the moment is the difference between somewhere like 12th place going up to even the top 8 right now. Of course, going to be a lot more points coming. Say, for example, if Snoot was to win here, he would tie Champ for 7th place. Like right now, Snoot is in 9th place, so he will move up and be looking pretty good, I guess. Yeah, all these small point earners, right now, they might not look like they're making much of an impact, but we have seen almost every single year a tiebreaker of some sort going into actually the final 8. A couple of years in a row, actually, it's happened. We've had tiebreaker matches as well in the past. To remember a Revival against Naniwa, so anything's possible. Any points that you can get, and even a single point, this could be important. A single point? I don't know if you can get them in single units. Okay, well. Wait, actually, I want to see what the lowest breakdown denominator is. 30. Oh, not even into 5s. That's a bit of a shame. I want something to come right down to the edge. That would be crazy. You want like a 4-man way tie? That would be pretty sick. Yeah, that would. I remember the first one we ever did, which was against... It was Naniwa going up against... Yeah, Revival. Revival, yeah. That was some crazy stuff. I remember Sean was at the Blizzard office, and he was casting with me whilst I was in this room. Cool stuff. I loved it for the story, but then Naniwa revealed a lot of his builds and then went on to face Solki, which just wasn't in the mood to let Naniwa advance further. No, not at all. All right, so we're ready to go. Speaking of PvZ, we're ready to go. It's going to be ShoWTimE going up against SortOf. Let's jump in, as we do have spawning up to the top left-hand corner. It's going to be our red Protoss. I'm speaking very fast. I've got a lot of energy. I don't know why. We'll find out soon. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, right-hand corner even. Look at that. Look at that picture. Is that Zanster? Zoom in. I believe it is. Hey, it's going to be SortOf. So,
Obviously, ShoWTimE for a lot of people comes in as probably the favorite into this series because it's ShoWTimE, right?
Yeah, but I've already been talking about this in our previous play days. SortOf, he just came back from Korea. He's now in Sweden playing with no delay. He's practiced like a man over there. I think it's about time we saw all his practice kick into action and see if he can go up against Europe's best, because, I mean, it doesn't really get any better than ShoWTimE, you know?
Yeah.
Right now, I would say in Europe, we've got Nerchio, ShoWTimE, and Zero really leading the pack as maybe the 3 best players that we have here.
Yeah, a big test, really. And also, to reiterate, it's 4 players that will be advancing from today. So if you get to the winners bracket finals, you guarantee yourself a spot. And then if you get to the lower bracket final, no, the lower bracket final before, the lower bracket series just before the final. I'm trying to...
Just leave it at 4 players will qualify for Jönköping, and then...
All right,
we'll show it later, maybe with the
top
bracket.
4 will qualify. Perfect. There you go. So you got 2 chances, long story short.
And how many do we qualify today?
We qualified 2 today.
Yeah.
All the way through to that winners bracket final.
And we close the action out tomorrow, starting same time as today.
Yep.
All right, ShoWTimE went for Nexus first here on this map, and he gets away with it quite easily. Just followed up with a scout. I mean, he's playing against SortOf, right? Like, against Bly, you might want to show some restraint and maybe not do that build order, but against SortOf, you're pretty safe most of the time. And in this case, I want to see exactly what ShoWTimE goes into here, because we've seen a lot of Protoss still go into that style of, you know, Oracles, into Adepts, and all that, and then into Storm. It's really how the meta is like right now versus Zerg. And all like SortOf, do we just see him play the standards Link Ben into Hydralisks, or does he mix in something maybe a little bit different? Some Zergs, they like to rely on Spires quite a bit to try and trick their Protoss opponent, but against ShoWTimE, we've seen that not excel and not do well at all in the past.
Well, Pneumatized Carapace is going to come out for SortOf, maybe to keep eyes on things, or potentially to lift some Zerglings in, but not as common, I suppose, right now. Although a few more are being produced here by SortOf. So let's see if they can do anything with that. There's going to be a Stargate right at the back, so that Pneumatized Carapace is going to be looking for that. But it's a very, very common opener now.
Yeah, it's possible also sometimes to go for double Stargates, but as of late, we've seen that a lot less than in the past. And usually the 1 Stargate with just 2 Oracles to open with, and then maybe 1 Void Rays, something that we've seen a lot more of as of late. You can use Stasis Ward onto those mineral lines and make sure that you can freeze a couple of these drones. It's very hard for Zerg to actually react perfectly to this. You need to pull away all the drones, and then you still lose mining time. And then make sure the Stasis Ward is used on just 1 of the drones.
I think you categorized it nicely in our previous broadcast, where you said, once you see all those Overlords darting around, even if you have 1 Stalker, you're just like, meh, well, I'm probably not going to catch them. So unless you opened up a Phoenix first, they would have always been able to get away.
If you're a very positive player, and I'm sure ShoWTimE is, you look at this and you're like, oh, well, he's invested a lot of minerals and gas into a Pneumatized Carapace. Sure, he can scout me, but that's less drone than he was making because he was mining more gas and spending it elsewhere than on drones in the first place. So now, SortOf's about to reach 40 drones. This is really the time when Zerg starts pulling ahead on the worker count with just big batches of drones coming out. And again, he's the mechanics Bergman, right? Like, he's supposed to make a ton of drones, get ahead, and then win from there. Whoa, I've never seen Stasis Ward in this corner, but I guess he's going to prevent some mining.
He wanted the lava as well. He got the eggs, so they're not going to hatch for a while here. So I guess it denies some drones.
Yeah, he could have gotten closer maybe a little bit, because that spore was like kind of, you know, on the right-hand side more so than...
maybe tried just below the eggs? I don't know, but interesting.
We're not going to be too nitpicky here. I love these adepts, by the way, on the potential 4th base here of SortOf. Just kind of camped in between those mineral patches. If some Zerglings were to come, he might be able to shade away on time before these guys would die. And Zerglings wouldn't get enough of a good surface area to take them out very quickly.
Yeah, the Overlord does spot the 3rd base going down.
Void Ray's on the hunt.
Where is he?
He missed the Overlord, no!
Oh no, where's it? Oh, I've lost him. Where's the Void Ray? There we go. Found him! Found him! And the Oracle was going in again. Not sure what it can really do here. The Queens and Spore Crawlers are zoning out. Let's go, Void Ray.
Actually, yeah, ShoWTime's just going to shade out these adepts that he had on the 4th base of SortOf. Very safe. I think he knew that by now it's not really worth it to stay there anymore. Like, spotting that base would be nice. Here it is. Twilight Council and Forge finishing is going to be +1 attack. Obviously, you don't go for armor against Zerg. Charge starts immediately, and the Prism is already about to finish. So here's what's going to follow. A gateway explosion of some sort is going to happen very soon, because right now ShoWTime's only on 3 gates. And remember what I was talking about against Zerg, like some Protosses, they get to storm a little bit too late. So let's see if ShoWTime starts his Templar Archives quickly here behind this and goes straight into Storm, because right now he hasn't started it yet.
All right, so use Revelation there. Does spot the Hydralisk Den all the way at the back with the Oracle. So not too bad scouting. Keeping that Oracle alive is important for more Revelations down the line. Yeah,
Templar Archives now going down in the main, and second Robo here around his natural for ShoWTime, who's going to want to make a lot of Immortals. Walker count-wise, both players have done a beautiful job, but I would say ShoWTime in particular has been very consistent with pro production. Even Walker count here at this point, like, it feels like SortOf maybe should be on a couple more drones.
Getting that centrifugal hooks in as well for Banelings.
Yeah. Not much has died, by the way, so far in this game, but I think it might be about to change here with that Prism.
Might do. Let's go in and try for the distraction tactic of these two Oracles down towards the bottom. Revelation on some of those Queens. Revelation in the main base as well. Spotting the current macro that's going to be going on with that macro hatch in the main.
Hydralisks are already out, so this War Prism being out on the map like this is super risky.
Yeah.
That Void Ray, by the way, patrolling at the top near the main base of ShoWTime is really nice. If there were to be any kind of Baneling drop here, he would be completely ready.
It's good.
One thing I've seen happen here is sometimes Protosses, they take the 4th base a little bit too early against this, and then they get attacked by Mass Link Bane, and they end up dying. In this case, SortOf has gone up to 77 walkers, so he's not gonna go for, like, you know, a huge all-in version of this, but there's still gonna be an attack, I believe, and I think this 4th base might have to be cancelled. Storm so close to finishing, by the way, which is huge against this style.
Yep, he repositioned his High Templars on this base, which were a little bit vulnerable, making sure that the Lings weren't going to get onto it. And we're going to have a little bit of a drop pressure here. Those Banelings actually not that efficient at all, not even getting the Adept.
SortOf is completely out of position, actually. He was in the middle of the map, posturing forward to go for an attack. Perfect timing for ShoWTime to send this inside of that base here. And start sniping some drones.
Yeah, very well done. Baneling is going to crash into that. They were very clumped up. They do get cleaned away.
Wow, ShoWTime is playing incredible. He's got stasis wards at home. Look at his pylons. Looks like one of those missions in the campaign that you can't break through, man.
Yeah. That one where you have to defend on all 4 angles. Here, just 2. Just photon overcharge everything. Gonna be good.
I mean, if you look at the situation now in this game, SortOf is on Ling Bane Hydralisk against a Protoss that's already on Storm. That looks very good. Or very well to be on his way to maxing out here.
I think overall he's crossing all his T's and dotting all his I's. He's got a stasis ward in the natural wall as well. These Banelings could get some kills.
I don't even know what you just said, but you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it.
That's fine, yeah, that's okay. And these Zealots gonna have to get on their way. Even just trade for a few Lings up here, knowing that they're gonna die.
ShoWTime, by the way, like, even put a stasis ward, right in the middle of those units here to protect, I guess, these cannons a little bit.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good little tactic. And we will see SortOf now moving into a more aggressive stance, but I don't think he can get much done with this army. It's very fragile against those storms.
Top Protosses player really have pushed the boundaries. Look at this, the stasis ward on the natural.
Oh my god.
The one on the natural.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Everything is just...
A lot of these Protosses, like I was saying, they've pushed the boundaries of holding on against these attacks very, very far, making the most of their oracles. Let's see here, SortOf is still committing to this, even though he has so many units frozen.
Coming in from the back there with some Banelings. They don't get to the high Templars that they really wanted to. The Lings get away from that stasis ward. Likewise, Banelings here now going to try and go to another location, but another stasis ward. Everywhere is protected. He is the bulwark. He is the wall. ShoWTime. Whew.
He's known for his defense, but this is like next level.
This is crazy. There's been stasis wards everywhere, capturing everything. And even if SortOf wants to go up this ramp, there's another stasis ward. Oh, only 3 units. Never mind.
Yeah, behind this, I mean, there is enough cannons. There's units everywhere. The Banelings now onto that 3rd base achieve really nothing. And take a look at resources lost now. And units lost.
There we go.
SortOf has just been throwing away so many units that just didn't trade well enough. And now we've got ShoWTime closing in on maxing out. No sign of transition out of SortOf. No hive, no infestation pit.
Just going down now. A little bit behind.
I mean, Hydralisk and Banelings is all he's ever going to get here in this game, I think.
And against Immortal Archon, High Templar, that's going to be difficult, especially carriers.
Yeah, ShoWTimE's catching up on supply. Like, once ShoWTimE maxes out, I've mentioned this many times in my cast before.
Yeah.
A Protoss that's maxed out with, you know, some kind of Storm Tech or even Colossus against a Lair Zerg, he's not supposed to lose. Like, he's going to be super cost effective in those fights, assuming it doesn't botch them. And it's ShoWTimE we're talking about, so he should be able to land the storms, and then from there, SortOf is going to be in a world of trouble here.
I like how it used to be the case of you want to keep the Oracle alive all the time for Revelations, but now you just keep them alive for Stasis Wards, and it's crazy good. Just being able to shut down small pockets of units everywhere. Once again, getting shut down slightly here, but those Banelings will find themselves a High Templar, which is a not a bad trade, and storms will impede the process here, and the progress for SortOf.
This is unbelievable. Like, one of these oracles finally died, but the amount of stasis wards that went down and that protected everything, like a lesser Protoss would have taken so much damage here, maybe even died, but not ShoWTimE. And now he's got carrier production on the way. I'm a little bit surprised. I think if he fully realized that SortOf was stuck on layer tech for so long, ShoWTimE would just be aiming to replace the units that he lost, max out, attack, and then win. But stepping on creep against Baneling speed can be a quite scary thought, and also you don't know where the lurker tech is at, because once lurkers enter the field, it becomes a different game. It's much harder to attack into.
Real Mothership going to be morphing in now on that side as well, as the Lings and Hydras continue to try and find holes in the defense, but...
I can't believe that War Prism, by the way, is still across the map in the corner, waiting for its moments, waiting for these Hydras to move away.
Whereabouts? Down towards...
On the right-hand side of this.
On the right-hand side of that. Oh yeah, there we go. I couldn't see it on the minimap at all.
Oh, he's attacking on the fourth base.
Looking for an attempt in, but again, this army is still holding it back. Two Banelings going to try and roll through.
He broke the cannons, but I mean, there's still a stasis ward on the left-hand side here on that mineral line. ShoWTimE now going for the fifth base.
And three carriers about to pop.
It looks like this game will slow down a lot. I didn't think that ShoWTimE would allow SortOf to go for Broodlords, and he might still be going for an attack here momentarily.
And he could wiggle around with the War Prism and get on towards it, trying to put on some pressure, but we'll see in just a bit as the Zealot's going to just shut down quite a bit of the aggression towards this fifth base now.
Look at the amount of Immortals here, 10 Immortals. He might be able to win this game just with the Immortals and High Templars, and he's got Archons and Zealots to support these guys.
Yep, and the carrier's about to pop as well. The three Corruptors have actually found this Warp Prism, so they will bring it down, which is a nice scoop there for SortOf.
And now ShoWTimE saw this. So he knows that if there are Corruptors, there are going to be Broodlords eventually. This might be his cue to go across the map and go for the fight. Look, he's moving for it. Mothership going to join the fray as well. There is just so many storms. It's super hard to engage against this, but again, the weakness of Protoss, so to speak, or the strength of Zerg is going to be that if he can get a fight on creep with those Banelings getting perfect connections, but against this amount of Immortals and Archons, against how many of these guys there are, he would need 60 Banelings here.
Well, Templars in the back are cloaked currently, so he doesn't even really know the full position of them. Actually does see them all the way towards the back there, thanks to the fact that Creep's helping out.
Yeah, there are 21 Banelings here. Probes started dying across the map, but at this point, ShoWTimE has enough of them already.
Yeah, there were a few Zerglings here and there in those mineral lines.
And Broodlords.
Morphing right in the face here. He does see it morphing in. Stasis Ward's going down. Those Broodlords, oh god, they're so vulnerable. Oh, they're going to die very, very easily. That's not great here for SortOf to start this fight out. Immortal is putting a lot of pressure against those Hydralisks. And I don't know how SortOf is going to be able to win out this fight. There's so much quality in this Protoss army. It's almost impossible. Oh, those 5 Broodlords going to have to make magic happen.
The army value for ShoWTimE here, far superior. Holding on for a long time. As close to flawless as it gets here against SortOf. Scrambled a couple Broodlords out somehow, someway, but GG gets called in ShoWTimE. Solid throughout here in game number 1. You have to wonder if after a game like this, SortOf might just want to slow down maybe in game number 2 and try to play a more stale game, because staying on Hydralisk and Banelings the way he did and not being able to achieve any damage just sent him into the mid game in a bad position, I would say.
It was scary. I mean, just not only the defensive positions he had, but the stasis wards especially across all of those locations. Really cool to see how well Protoss has gotten adept to actually using those stasis wards. They're very strong.
No pun intended.
There weren't that many that game.
That was very convincing here out of ShoWTimE, I have to say. Usually is, but I feel like he stepped up even more than usual here against Zerg. You know, sometimes you see him take some damage here and there, and or at least more so than here in this game. Like that was, again, as close to flawless as it gets in terms of making sure that you deny those bailing attacks. And you can tell, like, this guy's been playing a ton of ladder and has been attacked here by these Hydralisk and Banes non-stop, because a lot of people do this on ladder. You know, I was talking about it in the qualifiers. I lose a lot. I lose quite a bit to this. Sometimes even if you reach Storm, it can be hard against Zergs that just kind of pull back, bait these Storms, and then re-attack into you. But usually if you reach Storm, you're in a good position. But in this case, ShoWTimE was just masterful. All
right, let's get into game number 2 then. We're going to be on Abyssal Reef to find out if ShoWTimE can go 2-0 up. He's up to the top left in the red. It's ShoWTimE. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have SortOf with Pool.
Yeah, an early pull here to try and catch ShoWTimE off guard. Because remember, ShoWTimE went for Nexus first last game, so...
Right, so there's going to be the probe heading over there quite quickly. So I might be able to get some good information here going on in. The wall is... Actually, that feels like one of the better starts of a wall for this situation. The positioning of it.
Yeah, a lot of players, they've been walling towards that side and then expanding just below their natural base, or above if you were on the other side, instead of taking the other third base that people used to take before that one.
Oh, you mean down here?
Yeah, people don't really take that one as much anymore. And in this case, you have to wonder. Actually, last game, I was already kind of wondering if SortOf did a rushling, how it would go, but ShoWTimE opening very, very differently here. And he's actually going to scout this perfectly as well. Yeah. Saw the spawning pull, so he should be fine.
This wall's going to be super good. Easy peasy for ShoWTimE by the looks of things. Here come the Lings. Drone's going to get planted onto that natural. And even the probe still sticking around to delay their natural going down. Just by 25 minerals or so. So not a huge delay, but a slight one nevertheless. 7-8 scoring gateway is going to be thrown down here in the full wall. Almost, I say full wall. This Zealot is the most important component of that. But one thing that's important is that's how these Lings are going to try and harass maybe even a pylon or so if they can find a little bit of room. So he puts the probe in the wall, brings it even out to actually fight these Zerglings for the moment. And are they even going to get the Zealot?
Brood War this micro, man.
Ooh.
I mean, even if the Zealot dies here, he can just pull back for now. Another Zealot is about to come out. ShoWTimE should be fine. He can stop Mothership Core as well.
Yeah.
Quickly behind this as soon as he reaches the end of gas.
Yeah, beyond the 6 Lings, there was no follow-up from that. Just going to the hatchery and the Queen. So a light pressure here, just to draw ShoWTimE into a bit less of a comfort zone.
Yeah, behind this SortOf, obviously, is going to be droning up, building up that walker count here already. Imagine if ShoWTimE had made a Stalker here from his gates after the Zealot, the second Zealot. Look at that Overlord asking to die on the natural.
They will be beautifully killed.
I know, I mean, you kind of have to go for an Adept, to be honest, to chase these Lings properly and make sure you snipe them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're going to be annoying for a lot longer than they're supposed to be.
He will go.
Gas taken on the natural base here from SortOf instead of the main base.
Interesting.
Guess he wanted to transfer everything down to the natural, just keep 16 in the main base regardless.
Yeah, maybe. Might want to try and fake out some kind of... but the third base is already going down, so...
No Stargate this time around, by the way. It's the Twilight Council, so I'm guessing Glaives is going to be in the books here. Maybe 3 gateways Glaives.
Ooh. And Robo on the way as well, yeah.
Oh, okay, so looks like a build that we haven't seen as much of as of late. It's the Dark Templar opener.
Oh, yeah.
Where you warp in multiple Dark Templars and sometimes more of them into Archons, try to snipe some drones here and there.
It's funny how
it's still very powerful.
Yeah.
Most players, they've got really good against this.
Yeah.
But without a Roach Warren, it's still quite hard to fight against, right? Usually, remember, like the right counter will be to get 10 Roaches. Now, what did SortOf do last game? He didn't get Roaches, he went for Banelings.
And how much of this can be spotted is a good question here. SortOf will need to probably send that Overlord in once again to have a look around. It's funny how I forgot about this build as quickly as I did, considering that it was so popular for a long, long time.
But a lot of players stopped using it kind of out of nowhere, I think, because Zergs started reacting perfectly to it. I think ShoWTimE, the reasoning...
He's chrono boosting the Twilight Council.
Yeah, this is so smart.
Oh, that's so cool.
And ShoWTimE's reasoning this game, I think I've just got it, Kyle-Ice. I've just figured it out.
Okay.
He saw that SortOf open with a quick pull and no gas.
Yes.
If you don't have gas, you can get Pneumatized Carapace. If you don't have Pneumatized Carapace, you might not be able to see the Dark Shrine. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to get a Dark Shrine, and he's not going to see it coming, and then maybe I can do a lot of damage, or maybe even kill him. And actually, SortOf almost saw the Dark Shrine just now. He flew into the main base, saw one gate being made, and then got out of there just before being able to spot the Dark Shrine.
Oh, this is genius as well. I mean, third base is going to go down here by ShoWTimE. I love that he chrono boosted the Twilight Council when the Overlord was coming in. I mean, it wasn't researching anything, but there could have been the preemptive chrono boost onto it before he was researching something like Glaives, for example, as you'd mentioned. Oh, but the Warp Prism gets found.
Yeah, this is huge, actually, because there was no spores, there was no lair on the way, so he could have just died here, maybe. Might still take damage here. ShoWTimE wants to go for that spore, but I guess he doesn't know.
All right, well, Dark Templar's been dropped in. Warp Prism's acting as bait, kinda, on the very edge of this creep.
Oh, if he gets the spore.
He's trying to surround.
SortOf is going to protect it, and ShoWTimE's going to have to pick up. Thankfully, he's brought his Warp Prism there. I know a lot of lesser Protosses that would have left that Prism on the third base and lost the 2 DTs and been really sad there.
Very good by SortOf to actually defend against that, but it's not over really. We can see the two Archon Harass coming in, which was the standard.
And also keep in mind, Lair is just so late this game that ShoWTimE is going to be in a very comfortable position, taking his own third base and denying a fourth base, because, I mean, how is SortOf supposed to take a fourth base unless maybe he moved the spore there, but then he would be very exposed.
This Warp Prism going to go back in once again. Even 2 Archons here against the Lings. The Lings can't really do much against this, so it's going to be up to the Queens to come back and try and find a good spot. So denying some mining time, picking up, getting on out, knowing that the closer the Queens get to the Warp Prism, the worse it can get.
And ShoWTimE behind this, you can always expect him to still be quite flawless. Last game, remember what we saw? Charge +1 straight into Storm. In this game, he's already saturating his third base. He's going to be able to deny creep.
I mean, I'm almost sad he doesn't have Stargate, so he can't get more Stasis Swords, because watching that was really fun last game.
But to be honest, he pulled ahead in a different way here in this game. The Gateway Explosion now is going to be happening. And SortOf, I mean, he's got Pneumatized Carapace and he's scouting across the map, but all he's seeing is a Protoss player macroing exactly the way it needs to be.
Yep.
Even catching an Overlord on the map here with his Archons.
Nice.
Was ShoWTimE just now.
Yeah, I saw him kind of poising for that, but didn't know if he was going to drop down or not. Good. And a Sentry's going to get an Overlord. Yes, they are. Wow. Lambo versus a Laser. We're just getting updated. It was 3-0 to Lambo? Question mark? Yes, to Lambo. Wow, nice. That's a very good result there for Lambo, starting things off in this bracket.
Yeah, Lambo is like one of those guys that's been putting in the work and showing here.
All right, well,
so funny.
I just realized I said question mark out loud in that previous sentence. It was very strange. Anyway,
the Skylar stings.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm a bit of an odd person.
Okay, so ShoWTimE is actually doing something different than what I expected. I expected the Templar Archives to go down. He's like, nah, you know that guy's stats with those big pushes off of his early aggression when he's doing well? I'm going to do one of those. I already have a Dark Shrine. I can make Archons off of that.
Yep.
He just made a ton of gateways. No Templar Archives at all. He's just going to make a ton of units here. Charge's going to finish perfectly here with when this timing actually hits, and with this amount of Immortals and Sentries, he can force field and section off a lot of these units. Keep in mind, there is no Ravager to break force fields here. Force fields are going to be great as long as they can land perfectly.
And don't land right next to the Archons, like, so they actually end up breaking them. So he's going to pin him back some of those Queens, as well as the Banelings can't even filter through this. The Hatred alone might even have been better cancelled so he could try and get through there to actually do some damage, but it was finished, as it was acting like a big force field there for those Banelings to not get through.
He's just absolutely masterful so far here. This series crushing through here, putting SortOf in a lot of trouble, screaming, where is Nurture and Cyril? Come out if you dare.
Bring me the big boys! And he's going to push on here with the Zealots as well. The Archon's going to march on forwards and do a big amount of damage as ShoWTimE. There's very little that is actually available here for SortOf to deal with this army at all. I love how that he was just knocking on those rocks, and all that time SortOf knew that this army was impending, coming along very, very soon, and there is no answer to what ShoWTimE provides. GG. Game number 2 goes to ShoWTimE. Quick and simple. Jeez, watching ShoWTimE play is such a treat.
Yeah, on one hand, it's very inspiring, but at the same time, it's almost like demotivating. I'm like, God, I can't. When I do this build, but then as soon as I hit, I realize I have like 1,500 minerals and like a lot of gas. I'm like, God, this game is hard. ShoWTimE is a beast right now. Like, that's just so impressive. Like, SortOf is really good as well. Make no mistake about it. SortOf is an incredible player, but ShoWTimE is just in a league of his own, it feels like, so far in the series.
Yeah, we saw ShoWTimE in our, SortOf in our first qualifier a few days ago. Look really strong in his bracket, coming through the Terrans and being able to kind of jump them at a very good pace. But
he disposed of gas very easily.
Yeah, he really did. But going up against ShoWTimE is a no small feat. We're going to be on Odyssey for the next game, as we are already counting down. These guys rapidly getting into things.
I like this. I'm not getting hosts today, so I'm not slowing anybody down.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
They just get into the lobby, say go, and boom, they start.
Yeah. I see him every time. He's looking at esports earnings currently. It's very, very common, that website that he ends up on.
Don't lie on it.
Let's get into it. Game at number 3, as we have Odyssey going to be our next map. Spawning up to the top left, it will be ShoWTimE in the red. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have SortOf in the blue. Again, if he does lose this, not out yet. There is a lower bracket still to contend with. Very important.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough, getting ShoWTimE round 1, and then there's no loser brackets.
Yeah, he's like, well, I guess I'm done, boys. Bye. That would suck. I think overall, though, ShoWTimE not only one of the almost guaranteed players to actually move through the top 4, unless some massive upsets happen, but probably a contender to take the whole thing. Probably a contender to take number 1 spot.
I mean, he won last time after a crazy comeback against Zero in the finals. Like I said, like Nurture, Zero, and ShoWTimE right now in Europe are supposed to be the top 3 guys. The balance could be upset here in these very tournaments, in this challenger. But on paper, these guys right now are the favorites. ShoWTimE's doing pretty well still on ladder. He's ranked 10 and 12 right now.
I mean, who's to say that ShoWTimE wouldn't have potentially gone on to win everything at WCS Austin if Neeb wasn't there, right?
Yeah, that was crazy actually that they met as early as they did. Without that, they might have met in the grand finals, like both players. Even Neeb, I think, a lot of the time he says himself that he thinks that ShoWTimE's better, and even if he beats him in the head-to-head, like ShoWTimE, you know, like in other matchups in particular, like he's quite incredible as well.
All right, so the center wall from game number 1 coming in from ShoWTimE, except his Nexus is after the full wall. So ShoWTimE playing this one a bit more carefully after the opener from game number 2 from SortOf.
SortOf hasn't been getting lucky at all with his openers. The one time in game number 2 where he did an opener that could have countered, you know, or done well against the Nexus first, ShoWTimE went for a quick gateway and got his, you know, Zealots and defended perfectly. So not getting super fortunate here so far in terms of early game build orders, but it goes way past that, to be honest.
ShoWTimE good at reading series flow, never mind game flow, by the looks of it. Let's see what SortOf's going to end up doing here. Probably will go down the same path. Probably the Ling Bane Hydra style, but it's gonna have to find better windows if it's to work.
Keep in mind ShoWTimE, because of, you know, meeting Neeb earlier on in the tournament over in Austin and losing to Neeb, he's not as high as you would expect him to be right now in the WCS World Rankings. You know, I talked about Nurture, Cyril, and ShoWTimE being the best 3 players that I think we have from Europe. Yeah. Right now, ShoWTimE is in 6th place in those WCS World Rankings, which obviously, you know, it's not low, but it's just lower to where you would expect him to be. He's beyond special and true as well in those rankings. Yeah,
that's definitely the case. I was about to say that's very true, but yeah. And the funny thing is that last year, of course,
special.
The funny thing is, last year, he barely even really needed the points because he was the spring champion, correct? Was it the spring or summer?
Spring.
Spring, yeah. I'm questioning myself. I shouldn't even do it. Yeah, so that was you know, direct qualification through. He's got a very good chance, obviously, to actually go to BlizzCon once again, but he would love to be able to just qualify direct.
Yeah, these Adepts did all right here. They forced a bunch of links. They got 1 drone, and it looks like they're going to be able to get out. Look at it. Look at him juking and jiving.
Juking and jiving. That's right, Todd. Like it. There's
I got that one from you.
I know. There's going to be pneumatized carapace on the way, so those overlords will be juking and jiving in a bit. Looking to get some good scouting information down towards the back. I think, though, that overlords... Okay,
I can't believe that. I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, everything that ShoWTimE's doing is working. He sneaks his Adepts across the map. He's going to shade into the main now, get even more drones. And guess what SortOf is not going to be thinking about? No recall.
I mean, he's shut down a lot of the income already.
Like, it's so funny because SortOf has double overload above that Stargate, but he's looking inside of his base right now, defending his drones, holding on for dear life, and he's still gonna lose more drones, and as soon as that Oracle flies in, he's gonna be in a world of trouble there.
They're supposed to start pretty damn soon.
Yeah, and they're not. Even if he started them down, like, this Oracle would do quite a bit of damage. Like, this might almost be like lights out here in this game.
So here come the spores now, but of course we could quite easily see ShoWTimE use something like those stasis wards in even interesting locations to capture... Oh wait, there's already one Oracle over here. Never mind. I'm so silly.
It's... I mean, he should maybe sacrifice this. Like,
he
did so much already. 10 walkers ahead here for ShoWTimE, who after the second Oracle is like, oh yeah, you want to fly some overlords about my base? It's a no-fly zone, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Void Ray and get rid of these guys.
How is he this good? I don't understand. I don't know why I was only paying attention to this second Oracle, but as I said...
I know, I was looking at that guy flying across the map and I was like, yeah, this is bad for SortOf. Stasis ward time in the main base.
Let's do it.
Oh, we almost put it too close to the spore, but then corrected that. Oh, he cancels.
I realizes the Queen might just do a little bit too much damage whilst he's channeling. It was in a good spot to start working on it.
And now more adepts are going to go forward. He's forcing more links. He's keeping SortOf on the lower walker count than where he would like to be at.
All right, so it's going to have to deal with 2 oracles and these adepts. How is this going to play out? What work units do we have? We have 9 lings with only a few more actually popping. If the oracles actually shot lings as this fight goes on, then this might cause a lot of problems. They need to be near, like, the anti-air. Yeah, the lings need to be near the spore crawler as they shade on forwards. Very important there.
Yeah, keep in mind those adepts don't have resonating glaives here, so they're not hitting nearly as fast as they could be.
He looked like he really wanted to use the oracles in the frontal assault, but that was good pulling back by SortOf to get to the majority of his anti-air.
Remember what the oracles did last time when he kept them alive? They got like 1,000 stasis wards down.
Yes, they did.
And now Forge +1 is on the way. Third base is going to be starting to get saturated here for ShoWTimE. Remember what follows up the gateway explosion.
It needs force fields. Nope.
The Templar Archives eventually. And apparently ShoWTimE is kind of like... He has that standard right now that he goes into against Zerg where after starting charge and +1, he gets a prism and goes across the map, usually with adepts to go for some harassment, but also you can do it with zealots, which makes him even safer against attacks, because if you're attacking him as Zerg, then you might not have enough at home to defend against this. Templar Archives now going down. ShoWTimE never forgets anything, does he?
Nope. No, he does not. It's quite pristine. And 10 more drones about to pop here for SortOf on the other side of things. Going for his melee upgrades. Doesn't really have that much gas income going on, and that's why we're going to be taking these towards the natural. That's a lovely wall coming in from ShoWTimE as well.
Yeah, actually all the way around his Nexus here. Trying to protect as much as possible against Banelings running around. Going for some detonation onto these probes there. Storm now on the way against a Zerg that just completed Lair. I don't see SortOf being able to attack anytime soon, and if a Protoss can complete Storm completely undisturbed, usually you're doing something right. Ooh, that gold base. Super exposed, and he's gonna chase those drones away.
Oh, yeah. They turn around, they're like, maybe not. Maybe not, but thankfully the Queens help on out. A few Banelings getting morphing in defensively. Storm on the way, +2 going down. The Immortal count now starts to rise as ShoWTimE's just crafting himself the perfect army again. And placing pylons in such a way as to start protecting a 4th base, which is starting to encroach on Zerg territory down the line, going slowly towards his opponent's bases.
ShoWTimE saw everything there was to see as well. He saw the double evolution chamber for upgrades. He saw the Hydralisk Den, researching muscular augments right now and not going for Lurker Den straight away. And he knows exactly where he's at in this game. He knows what timings he might have to hit.
The defensive stasis wards are so cool. Just one in this mineral line at the 3rd, one over at the 4th.
I think it's crazy that they don't expire.
Ever,
yeah. Like they should definitely have some sort of timer.
In theory, if you just had a few oracles flying around all game long and the game goes on long. Yeah, that's true. You can have them everywhere. You just have them everywhere.
You could literally have like a pack of Hydralisks and Overseer sniping stasis wards. They reappear faster than you're killing them, so Has eventually reaches carriers.
Yeah. Just litters the field with them. That'd be amazing. Runaway links. Double Immortal production now. a stasis ward to defend everywhere. I like it. Set up like Fort Knox, Todd. Fort Knox.
It's actually that wall around the fourth base is kind of weird. Like gateways at the front, pylons behind, ready to be overcharged. And that prism actually was not able to do much at all.
More stasis wards going down. Hydralisks, as you say, with this slightly weird wall, have find a spot where they can do some damage. Baneling's trying to get something done against that, but nothing at all. Still more stasis
The
wards.
force fields were always good enough to prevent really the Zerg army from doing enough. And ShoWTimE's gonna send some zealots around actually at the bottom there.
Down towards that third or so, wherever you want to call that base over there. Alright, SortOf trying to put on some pressure. At least this location, compared to every other spot he's tried to hit in the past couple of games, is slightly more open.
Oh, guys, I'm super worried for SortOf. Look at the supply. He's already catching up. Completely Immortals, Archons, High Templars, and so many High Templars, almost like full energy here.
Yeah. And now his entire army has been drawn back to deal with these Zealots, which is buying ShoWTimE even more time.
And look at his Banelings on the left-hand side. Stasis ward, Stasis ward. Alright, some of them do get through. It worked!
Not bad, not bad. And we're getting information now that Nurture does beat DNS 3-0 in the bracket.
Okay, ShoWTimE and Nurture, they're warming up for their match. That is almost unavoidable here at this point.
Yep. It's going to be a great one. All right, here's another attack. This is actually still another good opening here for SortOf, as it's not very open here for Protoss to try and get into to defend. We'll use Photon Overcharge to get rid of them. The army's still amassing here for Protoss.
You know who I'm excited about as well in this
Who are you excited about, Todd?
Good old Snoot, man.
Good old Snoot.
Seed number 4 behind the initial 3 guys that I was mentioning earlier, but hold on, ShoWTimE. Maybe taking a full-on engagement and chasing away SortOf here. He's supply blocked.
Guardian Shield helping out quite a bit. Yeah, he is supply blocked, as he said, because he's losing a lot of pylons here and there against these assaults. So he needs to make a surplus of them, but really doesn't have that many minerals at the moment. Another storm hits a lot of those Zerglings, and goes to Stasis Ward, catching a few as well. But the Hydralisks are really the tail, to be told, as they're doing a lot of damage towards from the back lines.
Even that one cannon that tanks so many Banelings here that it's just not worth it for SortOf to be trading like this. And at this point, SortOf, he's got so few Banelings here left. He's already sacrificed all of them. He's just Hydralisks left over. He might just get chased down. Look at the amount of Immortals again. We've got 11 of them with 2 more on the way, and ShoWTimE might just be starting to walk across the map here to go for a fight.
It was a good snipe out from SortOf to actually get some of the Archons out the front, but yeah, you're right. There's still a lot of power behind this army. He needs to get to the High Templars somehow at the back of all of this, but then he's still got a lot of DPS to worry about from those Immortals.
I don't know how many run-by ShoWTimE loves to on ladder, but he's always sealed at a natural perfectly.
Yep.
Look at this. Run-by attempt by SortOf, which is really smart, right? Because these Immortals, they have to come through that wall.
Trying to come in from the back. A lot of storms hitting that light army there, and he's trying to focus down some of those High Templars, but they're doing a lot anyway.
His own Immortals.
Yeah, the Immortals at the front are actually getting ravaged here by the Hydralisks. Not Ravagers, but just ravaged, as that's going to be SortOf having to move forward here against this army. ShoWTimE falling back, but look, still expanding on towards his opponent's bases.
His War Prism was away from this location, so that made it very difficult for him to reinforce into the fight. But now with those extra Zealot Warps in, he might be able to go for it, SortOf. He might just have to evacuate that gold base here. It's almost mined out.
Yeah, I mean, the one reason that went so well for SortOf is that he came in from 2 sides and really kind of stretched ShoWTimE a little bit thin. That's why the Immortals at the front weren't really doing too much. But a single frontal assault from SortOf might not be as successful against this kind of army.
At this time, there is no transition from SortOf. He's trying to basically trade as well as he can against this army, replace his army quicker than ShoWTimE can, especially on those expensive units. The Immortals, if you can kill those guys and the new ones take too long time to get there, SortOf might have a chance. Look, he's even got double macro hatch in the main base here. SortOf.
So much. The thing is, he's trying to get another good angle to attack on, but there's so many High Templars still left here. Storms will go down almost preemptively, in essence, to make sure that army cannot.
And there's still stasis wards here on that extra base that ShoWTimE just took.
He'd relish the idea of some of the units just trying to get in there and do damage. capture them. And that is going to be one Zergling. Not great.
And Zealots at the bottom side of the map now, by themselves, sniping a hatchery. That's very important, because remember that gold base is mining out right now. That would be the new base that SortOf would have liked to be able to mine from here at this point.
Yeah, and it has to, in essence, be a base that he takes down here, because anything that he takes up to the top right is too close to the Protoss army for him to even get and secure properly.
I talked about ShoWTimE always being sealed off. It's not the case right now here at this wall around the natural. Might be starting to work on that here in a second, but the other base on the right-hand side gets attacked into. That's the break that SortOf had been looking for.
SortOf really doing very, very well with the amount of Lingbane and Hydras he actually has here, trying to break on through. Would love to get that Cybernetics core as well as the gateway wall.
He went for the Nexus and could have gone for the probes here, actually. Would have gotten a lot of them.
All over the place at the moment, as these battles do continue raging on. ShoWTimE, though. Did he ever make any carriers? I think he made the fleet beacon, right? But didn't have any chance to use it.
He just made a mothership. I think he just wanted to get the mothership. Like I think he knew that SortOf is going to be very hard for him to get Vipers, and without Vipers to counter a mothership like this, it's going to be really hard. Like he can just pull it back, cloak his entire army. Even if they are overseers, you know, these guys, obviously, if they have too much energy, can feed back them and kill them. Otherwise, maybe just target them. And the cloaking field of that mothership is very, very scary to play against right now for Zerg. Stuck on lair tech.
Very useful.
Oh, I don't
Big lane run by.
Yeah, I don't even know if like we can call this a run by. This is like a huge wave of links.
This is a true Zerg. This is a true swarm. And we'll clean up a lot of those lings. Oh, I mean, Zealots. And all the probes die off that were going down there.
Look at this wall.
Wow.
Sparta! They will not pass.
No way. Oh, catching some of those with the Stasis Ward, but SortOf is doing so well in this game to have stayed alive and still be putting on this pressure.
It seems like he wasn't confident in taking and playing a longer game, so he's playing a
full mid game.
A brawl style of Zerg here.
Yeah.
Where you fight, brawler. You trade, and even if it's not cost effective, try and replace your army quicker than the opponent. Might have to take a big fight here in a second, though, against ShoWTimE that's finally going forward.
Constantly attempt the expansions. Still storms going down these Ling Hydra, trying to get on towards this fourth base. Recalls on in. These units are going to take a lot of free damage while that's going on. They need storm, and that will be some storms landing on those Hydralisks. Zealots are going to be sent down towards the bottom as well.
I think ShoWTimE has to go for it. The more he waits, the worse this keeps on getting. SortOf has been really good at counter-attacking here and buying himself some time.
And
he's looking to take the fight here. Look, he's posturing behind his army. ShoWTimE not paying attention.
Goes for it. Big storms landing across that entire light army here, but there's not that many Immortals left over. They should be able to clean up the rest of this.
Oh!
Oh, the mothership dies
from 2 Hydralisks that were there.
Oh my god. Oh, and that's going to be it. GG. He'd sent Zealots down towards the bottom as well to start attacking the final mining base there. Whew. That was a roller coaster of a game.
Very good job by SortOf, I have to say here. Considering how he was stuck on lair tech, to go for this and make it a close game against somebody as good as ShoWTimE goes to show how good this guy is. But ShoWTimE is just too solid right now. Like in this series, he was incredible, man.
Yeah.
He was everything I think most Protoss wish to be up against a Zerg.
But kudos as well to SortOf, especially in that last game, to make as much of a meal out of it as he did. I feel like Odyssey has so many good attack paths for a Zerg if you're playing that kind of style.
Yeah. No, but it's really hard to pull off. Like so many times he just like removed a lot of Banelings and Lings from his main army and just sent them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do that on the fly and kind of know, you know, where the Protoss army is. When he doesn't have the entire map vision like we do, it goes to show how good this guy is. Like,
all right. Well, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to figure out which our round of 8 match is going to be, because there's some good ones coming up, so we'll figure that out for you in just a few moments' time. So join us after the break when we have more WCS Challenger playoffs from Europe coming up very soon.